Are you?
I'm good, thanks. I almost lost my voice. Well, had lost my voice a couple days ago, and so I was nervous that I wasn't going to have a voice for this, but thankfully it's come back a little bit. So
Oh, thank God. Oh, losing the voice is the worst thing ever.
for me, not as bad as it would be for you. Like I just end up taking the day
Yeah,
off. You don't get that luxury.
yeah. You're right. Unless well, now that we're not on tour, you can take a day off for sure.
Right.
But yeah, if it happens on tour, then
So what do you do if you do have something like that happen while you're on tour? Do you have certain things that help it come back, or do you just have to cancel for the night?
well, it depends how bad it is. Like if you completely lose it, there's really nothing you can do. You just have to shut up and keep quiet and take some, I don't know. I like to take like natural remedy. I have natural remedies and herbs and teas and all that stuff. But if it happens, then you just have to, yeah, be quiet. Otherwise, you're gonna do more damage to the vocal cords.
Right. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a therapist outside of doing this. And so it is necessary for me to talk, but definitely
Yeah.
not in the same, sense. Um
Yeah.
oh, looks like I don't know. I set this up a different way. It looks like Martine is also joining us. Yeah, I set this up through my phone versus on the computer, so I did it all weird and I don't know why I had to. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Martine.
Hi, good to see you again after such a long time.
I know, right?
We got like a Brady Bunch thing going on here.
Ah, nice.
Like your background, the mountains are really pretty.
Thank you. And we don't have that many here in the Netherlands, so I'm happy to have them at least on the wall.
Oh yeah, I'm in Idaho. We have mountains everywhere. So
Oh,
yeah,
I-
so that like looks like my backyard.
Idaho is so gorgeous. I've been to Yellowstone. That's also partially in Idaho, right?
Yeah, yeah, Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana. It's one of the coolest places.
Ah, yes, the west of the states is my favorite part.
Yeah.
My wife is from the US, and she's from California and Arizona.
Oh,
But yeah, I love to be in the West.
is she from the southern part of California or the northern?
She is originally from LA, but she lived in Phoenix, Arizona for years, and her family also have a house in Gig Harbor in Washington State.
Oh wow. Oh, that's cool. So all around the West.
All
Um,
around, yes,
yeah, from desert to beaches to mountains.
yes, but it's also freaking pretty. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sure I will move to the States in one point of my life. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's definitely pros and cons to being over here, but Idaho is one of the prettier states as far as scenery. Um,
One of the most pretty ones, I think.
yeah, I agree. I agree. California is really pretty too. My brother lives there, so we get to go there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, somewhat frequently.
Oh,
So let's dig in. The album is a little less than a month away, about a little over 3 weeks. How long have you guys been working on this album? Did it start during COVID time or right when you guys were coming out of it?
yeah, good one. I think then we even had parts done before that because, like since day one, I write with like a co-writer in Delain, Gus. He's not in the live band, but he is a very important part of creating the delay music. And so sometimes we have something lying around still, and then at a certain point, then also, of course, the new lineup came as part of creating the album. So this album is kind of a good representative of this whole process taking shape, taking form where we are right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful album. so much cinematic, adventure all throughout it, which is always really fun and enjoyable. I like to listen to cinematic type of music when I'm reading, and with you guys having more of like a fantasy based lyrics, it seems like it would be a great um, ambiance for reading a fantasy book, which is unfortunate that I just barely started listening to it because I just got done with Stephen King's Fairy Tale, and it would have been perfect for that.
That would have been perfect. But so much fantasy going around, and so you will have plenty more opportunities, I can imagine.
Yes, I do like a lot of fantasy style books, and yeah, I have it now. I'm one of the lucky ones that gets to listen to it before, everybody else. And so I already have listened to it a few times, and it's a beautiful album. So, Diana, you're one of the new ones. How has the experience been for you to kind of hop onto this project that already has a name for itself and has been going for a while?
Yeah, well, it's been a journey for me, and since I joined, I feel like I keep growing and growing, both as a person and as a singer, because I've never done a full-length album with a band before. I've only worked with producers and DJs and working on one track at a time and then releasing it. And working on a full-length album and with such a band like Delain, it's just so you have so much to learn and so many things, so many new things to me, like how the whole process works and how a song is just built from scratch, from the demo stages up until the final mix. And it's so much fun as a singer to experience something like this and work on a full length album. And then there's the live aspect, like the live shows, and there also I'm learning so much. And with the shows that we did last year, I got to explore how I wanted to connect with the audience and how I wanted to dress. You know, we're girls and we like to dress and to do our makeup and all that stuff. It's fun for me. So it's been a journey, a cool one, and just yeah, I've been growing so much, so, and having fun, of course, at the same time.
Good. Yeah, that's one of the most important things, isn't it? Is being able to enjoy what you do. Um,
Yeah.
so I'm curious, Martine, with sometimes it helps to have someone in any even outside of music, just in any um it sounds weird to say employment, but that's what it is. Sometimes it helps to have someone that has a lot of experience, but sometimes it helps even more to have someone who doesn't have as much experience because there is a little bit more of I think, a collaboration that can happen there. What has been your experience as far as that?
Yeah, I think you say that really nicely like that, because the good thing about start working with somebody who is new is that it's a clean sheet. So this
Hmm.
person has a very fresh perspective and view on things, and that is great. And indeed, on the other hand, it's also nice if you have somebody to work with who has like experience. And I am blessed with this album to have all this. Like, I think Diana is a very gifted singer, and to me, she comes across like she has a lot of experience, and at the same time, she is like, how do you say, a clean sheet? I don't know if that's the way to say it in English. And that makes the whole process so fresh, and that is wonderful. So it has been also for me highly enjoyable, really a lot of fun, and I think that's very important, because if you have fun, then it's also way more easy to radiate that to the person who listens to the music.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree, especially in live settings. And really, Diana, you're a natural. I mean, you look like you've been doing it for years and years and years. You look so confident and comfortable, and that
Thank you.
I can't imagine that's an easy thing to be able to accomplish, but you do very flawlessly.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I well, I try be myself, because that's the most important thing. And I'm glad that it comes across in that way. And also I think it's a good thing to be vulnerable and to not pretend that, hey, even though I don't have as much life experience, I'm gonna pretend I do, because then you're just gonna look like you're pretending, you're gonna look like you're fake. So even if I make mistakes, that's just fine. I just laugh about it and be like, hey, next time will be better.
Right. Well, and people appreciate that genuineness much more than, I mean, you can tell. I mean, even as people obviously loving music outside of even Delain and what you guys are doing, being able to experience other bands, you can tell, you know. And so that
Yeah,
genuineness, I think, is very important.
yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys have released 3 songs so far. The responses have been really, really positive. I don't think I've seen any negative responses. How nervous were you, Martin, going into this, knowing that this was kind of a new chapter, not even kind of a totally new chapter, for you guys, as far as how the old bands were going to respond?
Oh yeah, of course. I never have been this nervous in my musical career ever. Because indeed, Delain has a very loyal fan base, and I think it's unique, the kind of fan base that Delain has. And also, if you come up with the new lineup, that's quite something. If you come
Mhm.
up with a new singer, that's already quite something. But if you also come up with like also other people in the band, then that's a big thing. So especially the first release in summer last year, The Quest and the Curse, that was for me the biggest how do you say, challenge.
Mhm.
And when that got released, man, the responses were way so much better than I could have ever hoped for. So not in my most wonderful dreams, I expected something like this, and
Mhm.
the fans were really, really positive and open, and yeah, it got confirmed that the Delain sound is still there. Because to me, if the Delain sound would not be there anymore, then I couldn't justify calling this Delain, and I know how much also the previous members did their part and their share, and they were very good and very talented people. And so yeah, that is quite something to continue then, and yeah, and it's up to the people to decide if that's good enough or not.
Right.
Yeah, so I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, yeah, they've been very welcoming with very open arms to you, Diana, which I think is really amazing, especially with vocalists. I not I guess so much in the metal scene, but still anytime there's a shift in vocalists, it's kind of a gamble when it comes to music. So um I'm sure that's yeah, an amazing thing to be able to be a part of, you know. Um
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I mean, that the fact that people reacted that way, it really gave me that push of confidence to think, okay, we're on the right track. People like this. Some people might get, it might take them some time to get used to it, and that's totally normal,
mhm,
because I'm the same. If a band that I like changes singers, I need some time to get used to it, and I might not like it at the beginning, but then I get used to it. So it's totally normal. And to be honest, I was overwhelmed with all the positive comments and feedback and um, messages from the people. It was, yeah, really nice, and that helped so much
yeah.
with my confidence, of course.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I ask almost every musician that I interview this, but I think it's even more important in this setting. Self-care is such an important thing to do. I mean, in life in general, especially when you're on tour, even when you're at home. You've been very open, Martine, about burnout, and burnout is, oh my goodness, is an intense thing. I had already told Diana I'm a therapist, and when I burn out as a therapist, I can't help anybody. I'm done. So how is what have you learned in the process of you experiencing burnout? And I want you to answer this, Diana, as well, with your own, personal experiences. But what is some things that you do for self-care now to help take care of yourself and protect yourself?
Well, the first thing is to not wanting to do all the work, and make sure that you surround yourself with people that complement you and that can help you, and that can help you carry the burdens of
Mhm.
work,
Yeah.
because that's where it went wrong for me. That I was responsible for virtually anything in Delain, anything. I
Mhm.
was doing tour managing, I was doing producing the records, like the whole company stuff, the interviews together with Charlotte. It was just, it was just so much, and that went well for a long time. But at a certain point, when everything came together in the wrong moment, it became too much,
Mhm.
and things collapse, and
Mhm.
then yeah, then you get into a burnout.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so surround yourself with people that can help you, that can also do things. So also it's important to let things go, and of course also the basic things in life, moderation and balance
mhm.
in terms of getting enough sleep,
Mhm.
getting enough R&R time,
Mhm.
those kind of things. For me, I'm not a therapist, so you know better than me, I think. But for myself, those are the general things I experience. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. There's saying what can be helpful to things, and there's actually doing them ourselves. And as I'm not always the greatest at that, I have to remind myself constantly. How about you, Diana?
Well, I don't think I ever had a burnout, luckily. But I do have moments when I feel like my brain is gonna explode and it's going all over the place because I have my many things to manage during a day or during a week or a month. But whenever that happens, I just take a step back, and if I can, I try to go out like in the nature. If it's nice outside, it's difficult to do it now because it's really cold. And go for a walk. And I'm lucky because I live near a forest, so I can go
Mm.
walk in the woods. And there's a river, and it's really nice and quiet. And I just sit there, and no phone, no social media, no nothing. I just sit down and just listen to the sounds and try to be present and breathe. And I also tried meditation a few times, and that helped really, really a lot for me. So whenever that happens, I bring those two tools, nature and meditation, and I calm myself down.
Yeah. No, those are two of the best ones too. Um, meditation, I swear, it's like, like when you have electronics that aren't working and you unplug it and plug it back in, and it's like just magically working again. I don't know how
Yeah.
electronics do that, but that's like what I feel like it is for your brain, is you unplug and then you're like, okay, now I can handle things a little bit better again. So that's
Yes,
great.
yeah, that's totally, I totally agree with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's wonderful. So the band is named after, I love Stephen King. I'm reading another Stephen King book right now. The band is named after a Stephen King book. Is that, are you like an avid Stephen King reader? Is that what made you decide to choose this name, or was it just like a link with that character or with that area?
Well, I love fantasy stories,
Hmm.
and I'm nowadays I don't really read, but I do more. I'm lazy. I do more like Audible, like audio books.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
that's
and for example, Brandon Mall. I know that's an American.
Fablehaven.
Yeah, Fablehaven, Dragon Watch,
Yep.
that kind of stuff. Love it. And indeed, the Eyes of the Dragon from Stephen King is an exception. I did read that book, but that's like literally 2 decades ago. And
Yeah.
there's a kingdom in there called Delain, and that's where the
Hmm.
name comes from. Yeah.
Hmm.
So you are totally correct.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome. We actually met Brandon Mull. It's been probably 5 years ago. Super nice guy. He lives in Utah, so he's around in this area too. But yeah, those are fun books. I really like yeah,
Yes.
fantasy as well. Are you a reader, Diana?
Beyonders,
What's that?
Beyonders, another one.
Yep.
Also Venomol.
Yeah, and Candy War. I don't think I've read those ones, but that was
Me
another
neither.
one that yeah.
Yes.
Are you a reader, Diana?
I used to be, but I kind of lost track of reading because, of course, time, and whenever you have time to read, you just do something else, and we have social media nowadays, and we have so many distractions. But
Yeah.
I still like to read, and whenever I have the time, I like to read. I read so many books from World of Warcraft, which is a
Oh, fun.
huge video game.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Warcraft books and video games. So I whenever I have the time, I always grab a Warcraft book and I read it. And
Fun.
that's also fantasy. So yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I escape a little bit in that world.
That's so nice that they have those platforms in those mediums as well. We play Dungeons and Dragons, and it's another
Oh,
like good mental health like release, to
yeah,
be able to go into a whole different world and be a different character is like such a blessing when the world is sometimes the way that it is.
I know, right? I know, and that's why. Well, see, that's why I kind of stopped reading the books because I play the game too. So it's like it's choosing between playing or reading, and I'm like, nah, I'm gonna play.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a little bit of an immersive experience. But I
Yeah.
think you had mentioned audiobooks. I think those are just, I mean, it's the same as reading. I know some people like have a big, I don't know, make a big deal about that and say it's not reading. I disagree, but
Mhm. Yeah, no, I have to try Audible. I've never tried it, to be honest.
yeah,
So that's one thing I need to try.
they have some really, really great authors throughout there. Um, Not authors obviously, but what do you
Mhm.
call them? I can't even think.
Narrative.
Narrators,
Um,
yes, thank you. My brain is still like in sick mode, and so it's not
oh yeah.
fully functioning. So if you guys were doing a soundtrack for a movie or series, what would you choose? Or would you choose your own storyline? And what kind of story would that be?
Wow, that's a
Oh.
good one. Um, Tuomas Holopainen and Johanna Kurkela, they got me into the game Skyrim,
Hmm.
and I like also fantasy. I would like to would have been awesome to write music for that, for example. I would love that. So, but that's me. I don't know that Diana has her preferences too. I can imagine.
Yeah, but I'm pretty predictable because I'm into the game too, Warcraft. So if I would have to like sing on a Warcraft soundtrack, that would be really cool.
So it would both be like video game type of ambiance.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Or
That's cool.
or if it was a movie and if they would make Gladiator again, then I would probably like to sing on the Gladiator.
That would be really cool too. I could see all three of those working really well. Let's put it out there. Let's put it out there for
Yes.
for it to happen in the future. All three of those are such huge platforms that, it's not like I couldn't imagine, or I can't imagine a Gladiator coming out again. It's been a few
More
years.
than 20 years, 25 years,
So
something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
has it been that long? I was thinking early 2000. Well, yeah. No, so was it the 90s that it came out?
End of the 90s, I think, but
It
I
might have
might be wrong.
been.
I think 1998, 1999, something like that.
Crazy. Time
Yeah.
is so crazy. It doesn't seem like it's been that long ago, but
I could be wrong though. I want to check on
and
IMDb.
I'm sure you're right. I can't keep track of time very well at all.
Me
Could be
neither.
2001. 2001 could be also.
Ah, yes,
I'm not
2000. I see. 2000 exactly.
Oh, you guys, the one said 99, one said 2001. You guys were like right in that time frame. That'd be a fun trivia question. Oh, and I forgot to pick my mixtape question before. I have this really fun game called Mixtape, and it has all these cards that have crazy scenarios. Um, and you pick, like I'll just randomly pick one. It's a scenario, and you pick the song for it. So the scenario in this one is first kiss on a bridge with the biggest crush from your youth. What's playing?
Good Lord. That's a
Oh
good one.
wow. Um,
um, kiss while your lips are still red. Although
oh,
that's from Marco Hitala and Tuomas Holopainen.
Perfect.
oh, this is such a hard one. I would probably pick something from Celine Dion.
Yeah. Yeah, you could pick any of hers and it would
Is
work.
yeah, I'm hopeless. I'm a hopeless romantic. I would pick the Titanic soundtrack from Celine Dion. Oh,
It's funny that that's the one I randomly picked because I obviously would not be one I would pick for you guys. It's hard for metalheads. Like that's not an easy
I
question
know.
to
I know.
answer.
Oh, that
Um,
was a good
Let's
one.
do the Oompa Loompa song from the Roald Dahl movie, Willy Wonka.
the Primus version or the original version?
The original version, something completely not fitting.
Oh my gosh, that would just make me start laughing. I don't think I could take the moment seriously, which sometimes is
Is a
the
good thing.
yeah, exactly. I agree. I agree. Well, I know you guys probably have more interviews coming up. The last thing is with all the outpouring support and everything, which is well deserved and so amazing. But also we know that musicians have been hit really hard during the COVID years of not being able to tour. That's where you make most of your money. What are some things that fans can do to help support you guys? For replenishing that because we know musicians don't get paid what they're worth. Music saves us, and we unfortunately don't um, put the finances where to the musicians where they deserve it. That's how the musical industry is right now. So, what are some ways that people can help support you to make sure that the music keeps going?
Thank you so much for what you're saying. Um, one thing is a very obvious thing, but it can really help. Buy a ticket for a show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and don't wait until the last moment because it's good to know like how many people are coming. And after COVID, completely understandable. People wait till the last moment to buy tickets. I completely understand why they do it, but that would help, I think. And yeah, I think that's a very important one because it keeps us on the road and everything became more expensive. Traveling became way more expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Costs for crew became way more expensive. So something like that. Yeah.
So buy the concert tickets. Buy them in
Yeah.
advance. Okay.
And if people can't come to the show because they're too far or whatever, you know, they can always help us on social media by sharing things. It takes really 2 seconds to share a song or to share something. And that just helps, the momentum keep going for us. And it's really helpful
Yeah,
for the band.
definitely. That word of mouth thing is really important too.
Yeah.
And yeah, you guys have, like I said, less than a month before this drops, and you guys have already had so much support around you. So I'm really excited to see how everybody responds when it actually, gets to hit the shelves, the metaphorical shelves at this point anymore. And I wish you guys the best of luck. I'm really excited to see what you guys continue to do from here on out.
Thank you so very much. It
Thank you.
was it was wonderful talking to you, and this was fun. And yeah, if there are people like you, a lot of people like you out there, then we can lose.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's something I preach a lot is making sure we support our musicians because of how much music saves us. I think it's so important to remember. I mean, where would we be without it? The world would be. We think the world is rough right now. It would be. I mean, in ruins. So I think it's
I
really
agree.
important. Yeah, I think it's
I
really
agree.
important that we
It's one
continue
of
to.
the real magics we have in this world, music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys. I hope you have a really good rest of your day. I hope the rest of the interviews go smooth and easy, and hopefully we'll talk to you in the future.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much, and good luck with all you have going on, and
Yeah.
well, hopefully see you at a show one time. That would be
That would
great.
be amazing. I definitely will be there if you guys come to our neck of the woods.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Awesome. Bye,
Thanks
guys.
again.
Bye bye.
Bye.